Hexagram number 36. Darkening of the light. Discontent with slow progress. We lose our inner independence. The light has sunk into the earth. The image refers to adverse circumstances that make it difficult to maintain our will to stay on our path. It would appear that no progress has been made, and therefore our balance and inner independence are threatened. Because the situation seems difficult and immovable, we despair, fearing we will never find a solution. Our inner light is always threatened when we engage in looking at a difficult situation from the viewpoint of our ego or childish heart. It is as if we have on dark sunglasses, and everything we see is sorted out under headings of no better or worse. People's habits of mind seem so defective that we cannot imagine any possibility of their changing. Nor can we conceive that following our path will make any difference during the time frame in which we feel they need to change. In this clouded view, we forget that all changes are like streams that travel a long way underground before they come to the surface. We need to remember that we cannot attain a clear view if we confine ourselves to observing the external situation. Similarly, we cannot see with clarity if we fail to quiet the clamoring inner voices. We need to disengage from looking at the situation. Disengagement is made difficult if we fail to give up feelings of resentment, hostility, or frustration. For the time being, we need to accept the situation humbly as it is. We should not be concerned about the way others see our disengagement. Vanity in the form of wounded pride acts to mobilize our inferiors to anger, hatred, and self-defense. Our ego is involved whenever we have an emotional dependence on making visible, measurable progress. Its continued leadership perpetuates the endless cycle of no progress. For as long as it rules, we cannot engage the power of the creative, which responds only to selflessness. To escape the ego's domination, we need to reaffirm that the creative works slowly and imperceptibly until One day it rains and blossom appears, and the blossoms appear, and the fruit ripens. The diminuet, the denouement, I think that's a French word, denouement, D-E-N-O-U-E-M-E-N-T, the denouement in the drama of life, brings all diverse elements into alignment. The denouement in the drama of life brings all diverse elements into alignment. Then the impossible happens. We need to keep in mind that the miracle of the blossom, the rain, and the fruit is nature's business. Because looking aside darkens our inner light. We should avoid dwelling on or discussing either our own or other people's incorrect behavior. Focusing on negatives has a bad effect. Changing line number 1. Darkening of the light during flight. Because we have made a great effort to follow our path, to discipline our inferiors, and to be modest and sincere. And because we keep thinking about the effort and time we have put in, we are disappointed to see that no great visible progress has been made. All such beginning seeds of doubt give rise to desire, and in turn to striving. When we do not succeed, we feel embittered, so that in self-defense we adopt a hardened and hopeless attitude towards everyone in the situation. The other people, the Ching, life itself. All along, the ego has been on the side, testing and measuring, agreeing to be subdued only in return for visible gains. The remedy is to cease looking sideways. This is possible if we hold to our inner light and cling to what is good in ourselves and others. A more objective mood we are able to see in a more objective mood we are able to see that fate has harmony between ourselves and others. Oh, forgive me, I read that incorrectly. I'm going to go back. The remedy is to cease looking sideways. This is possible if we hold to our inner light and cling to what is good in ourselves and others. In a more objective mood, we are able to see that fate has not led us to an ugly and repulsive end, but to a greater enduring harmony between ourselves and others. We are able to see our adversities have brought about new growth for understanding. We also see that as long as our ego is still able to dominate, even only for short periods of time, we have more work to do before our problems can be resolved and our goals attained. Changing line number 2. Darkening injures him in the left thigh because we have failed to overcome all the difficulties in one great sweep of effort. We are tempted to give up. However, something within hangs on and helps us cling to our path. We need only trust the higher power to lead us past the difficulties. We need not know the answers in advance. Changing line number 3. Their great leader is captured. This means that we recognize the source of the problem, either within ourselves or within another person. It is usually some habit of the mind that is difficult to break. Therefore, the line says, one must not expect perseverance too soon. Expecting to overcome a faulty Expecting to overcome a faulty attitude all at once leads to disappointment and splitting apart. It is important to be tolerant of ourselves and others. Only perseverance sustained over a period of time enables us to dispute the power of our ego. When it sees that we are determined, it relinquishes control. It is as if our faults have an existence independent of us. They can be defeated only if we repeatedly hunt them down and deal with them. We must get used to the danger and difficulty this effort entails. Changing line number 4. One gets at the very heart of darkening. One gets at the very heart of the darkening. We leave the wrong path behind when we realize there can be no improvement in following it. The heart of this matter may be impatience or righteous indignation, pride toward others, inferiors. Changing line number 5. Darkening as with Prince Chi. As this line advises, we need invincible perseverance of spirit and redoubled caution in our dealings with the world. For surely, as with Prince Chi, our virtues will be tested. If we persevere, our current trials will end in success. Our current troubles will be seen only as necessary difficulties that precede great and enduring changes. Changing line number 6. not light, but darkness. The climax of the darkening is reached. It would seem that all efforts and trials were in vain. Precisely now, however, the tension of the false dragon has been stretched to its limits. It cannot harm us if we stand fast and renew our resolve to go on. Through not falling victim to alienation and negation, the evil element fails. Our will to continue to follow sincerely and modestly the good and the beautiful is all that remains, and it does so victoriously. That completes hexagram number 36.